Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is the primordial demon of fear. He is not a spirit or a ghost. He is the concept of fear itself. He is probably one of the oldest beings on this list, being born when the first breath of life screamed. He is known as the first of 10, the 10 being the 10 primordial demons. They are some of the most mysterious beings in Runeterra. Other demons like Evelyn or Atakan have certain goals or desires, whereas Fiddlesticks is just a force of entropy. He can manipulate space and manifest anything that someone fears. Apart from this, there are no actual feats that show how powerful Fiddlesticks is. He hasn't killed any gods, Darkin, or aspects. There is one feat though that I find really interesting. In the game, Fiddlesticks has unique interactions with every champion. His voice lines are references to something that the champions fear. For example, when he interacts with Garen, this is what he says.
Garen, brother, please don't hate me.
The reason why he says this is because in Demacia, mages are despised. They are usually executed or thrown in prison. Garen's uncle was also killed by a mage, so Garen hates mages. The conflict here comes from Garen's little sister, Lux. He loves her more than anything, but she was born a mage. So with this, we can see that Fiddlesticks knows what everyone fears the most. So the voice line that I find particularly interesting is the one that he has with Kindred. Let's listen.
Grey man.
We will cover Kindred separately later in the video, but for now, the Grey Man that Fiddlesticks mentions refers to death, Kindred's initial form. Death comes for everyone, and the thing that it fears the most is being alone. If everyone dies, then death has no choice but to be alone. Let's listen to one of Kindred's voice lines now.
Lamb, tell me a story.
There was once a pale man with dark hair who was very lonely.
Why was it lonely?
All things must meet this man, so they shunned him.
Did he chase them all?
He took an axe and split himself in two, right down the middle.
So he would always have a friend.
So he would always have a friend.
The significance of Fiddlesticks' interaction with Kindred is that it shows us that even death has its own fear. This means that the extent of Fiddle's power can also touch death in a way, something that no other character on this list can do. Lissandra. Lissandra is the Ice Witch. She lives in the Freljord and is thousands of years old. She has two sisters, Avarosa and Zerilda. At one point, Lissandra was attacked and blinded by Volibear. This, however, was a blessing in disguise. Lissandra was no longer able to see, but was able to access the dream plane. This is how she established a connection with the Watchers. These are extremely powerful extra-dimensional beings from the void. Lissandra was able to make a deal with them. In exchange for granting her and her sister's immortality, they would prepare Runeterra for the arrival of the void. Her sisters thought that this is actually not a really good deal. If the Watchers came, they would destroy the world. There's no point in being the ruler of nothingness. So they asked the demigod Ornn for a favor, to build a prison for the Watchers. This is how the Howling Abyss came into existence. In the end, Lissandra also thought it's not a good idea to bring the Watchers into the world, so she betrayed them, sealing them in true ice under the Howling Abyss. She now keeps watch over the Watchers, ironically, and is preventing their release and the end of the world. So what are Lissandra's powers? Well, she is a true Iceborn, which makes her immortal and able to resist any type of cold. She is also capable of wielding and manipulating true ice. True ice is magical and can never melt. Lissandra is also a powerful and knowledgeable witch. She can enslave other beings with her will and enter their dreams. This way, she can manipulate memories and even rewrite the history that people remember. This may not sound like much, but she can enter the dreams of the Watchers, which is no small feat. Speaking of the Watchers, the true power that Lissandra holds is that without her, all of Runeterra would get destroyed by them. She now seeks to find the Heart of Blue, a mysterious artifact that can help create more true ice and keep the Watchers at bay. Bard. Bard is the wandering caretaker. Bard has existed since before the creation of the universe. He is a wandering celestial who drifts like a note in an endless song. To some, he is the great caretaker. To others, he is a strange omen wrapped in floating bells and laughter. But his purpose never changes: preserve balance, protect creation, and intervene only when the cosmic melody itself falls out of tune. He appears in places where reality grows unstable, where forgotten relics hum with too much power, or where reckless mortals awaken forces they cannot contain. Bard does not warn, negotiate, or threaten. He simply acts. A simple gesture or a quiet adjustment, and fate itself shifts back into harmony. Bard also has meeps that follow him around. These are celestial spirits that were created from the residual inspiration used to create the stars. They carry his tools, alter the world in his direction, and guide those who stumble into his path. Entire cultures have myths about Bard: the spirit who fixes what should not break, the wanderer who mends the stars, the protector who comes before disaster. Bard is not a warrior or a conqueror. His strength is quiet, cosmic, and precise. He can warp reality and avert catastrophes before mortals ever realize they were moments away from extinction. Fiddlesticks is fear incarnate, then Bard is balance. Where the universe falters, Bard appears. When the balance is restored, he simply drifts away, humming the eternal song only he can hear. Kindred. Kindred is the living embodiment of death in Runeterra. Not a villain, not a savior, but the inevitable balance that everyone must face. They appear as a duo entity, lamb and wolf. When a soul reaches its final moment, Kindred offers a choice: acceptance or denial. If you come willingly, Lamb's arrow will end your life swiftly and peacefully. If you deny though, Wolf will hunt you down violently. Kindred's presence weaves into the mythologies of many cultures. To some, they are poetic and inevitable. To others, terrifying and unavoidable. Kindred does not kill indiscriminately. Instead, they respect the natural order, closing the cycle of life and death. They are drawn to souls who are meeting their end, and those who are desperately trying to flee from it. When someone meets their end, whether on a battlefield or from a dying heart, Kindred arrives. When Lamb's arrow is loose or Wolf's jaw snaps shut, the soul moves on, and in the act, Kindred maintains the balance of life and death across Runeterra. Power-wise, Kindred's dominion is absolute. Death is not a power to be challenged indefinitely. In a world of war, magic, and chaos, Kindred stands as the ultimate constant. Soraka. Soraka is the Star Child. She is a celestial being who abandoned immortality to walk among mortals. She saw suffering and needless pain in the mortal world, and rather than judge from above, she descended to heal it herself. Villages tell stories of a gentle horned healer arriving on moonlit nights, leaving peace and life in her footsteps. To the dying, she is hope. To the desperate, she is light. To the wicked, she is forgiveness, even when they do not deserve it. Unlike other Celestials, Soraka does not impose order or chase grand cosmic goals. She cares about the small things: a wounded traveler, a starving child, or a lost warrior who has forgotten kindness. Her compassion is her power, and it radiates like a quiet star in the darkness. Her magic is pure restoration. Each time she heals, she uses her own celestial essence. This is why in-game she loses health whenever she heals someone. Beneath her gentleness, though, lies something vast. She has seen worlds rise and fall, watched stars be born and die. Still, she chooses to care for fragile mortal hearts. Soraka's strength is not destructive, it's transformative. She changes people by showing them a better way. In a world of gods, monsters, and endless war, Soraka stands as a reminder. Sometimes the greatest power is simply choosing to heal. Aurelion Sol. Aurelion Sol is the Star Forger. Long before Runeterra ever existed, Aurelion Sol was sculpting the heavens. He is a celestial born in the beginning of creation. He can create stars and form entire galaxies. To him, stars are not miracles, they are art. Even though we know him as a big celestial dragon, his true form is something unimaginable that cannot be described. Once upon a time, Aurelion Sol returned to one of his earlier creations, but noticed that a world he had not created was orbiting it. This world was Runeterra. So who created Runeterra? Well, that's a topic for another video. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. Anyway, the aspects of Targon invited him to Runeterra to guide its inhabitants. Flattered by the offer, Aurelion descended in the form of a dragon. The Targonians named him Sol after their son. To thank him for honoring their request, they gave him a golden crown. As soon as he touched it, though, he realized that it was not a gift, but a prison. The crown was imbued in magic so powerful that even he couldn't fight against. Now, with Aurelion Sol's power in their hands, the Targonians used it to channel power into a man-made structure, the Sun Disk. Aurelion Sol decided that when he escaped, he would take revenge on the aspects and destroy Runeterra for detaining him. To anger the Starforger is to challenge the cosmos itself, and the cosmos rarely loses. Zoe. Zoe is the aspect of Twilight. She looks like a little girl, but is actually thousands of years old. She was born as a human and chosen by the aspects to be one of their hosts. As the aspect of Twilight, she heralds change. She embodies the moment between what was and what will be, a moment of upheaval. Just like in the real world, Twilight is the moment before the day turns into night. Her arrival often marks turning points in history. Old orders crumble, new threats awaken, and cosmic forces shift. Essentially, if you see her, it means that something big is about to happen. Zoe is also chaotic and childish. She is friends with Aurelion Sol, and even though he is one of the most powerful beings in the universe, she treats him as a puppy. She can create miniature stars and blast them into her enemies. She can also teleport and travel between dimensions. Behind her playful grin lies undeniable truth. The universe bends around her whims. She is both harmless and utterly terrifying, a paradox wrapped in sparkles and laughter. Volibear. Volibear is ancient, older than mortal kingdoms, older than Freljord tribes. He is storm made flesh, the primal fury of nature incarnate. To many, he is the thunder's roar, the great storm, the primal god of war and survival. Legend says he and his demigod kin shaped the land long before mortals walked it. With a swipe of his claws, he carved fjords. In a titanic battle against the magma serpent, he forged rivers and mountains from its blood and corpse. For countless generations, the tribes of the Freljord worshipped him, offering blood and strength. Volibear led them into war, equipped with runic armor forged by his brother, the Divine Smith. But time and civilization softened many. Fields replaced hunts, walls replaced wild roaming. Volibear saw this as decay, weakness born out of comfort. He cast aside armor, discarded restraint, and embraced pure elemental rage. Now he calls for a return to the old ways. He seeks to strip civilization away and resurrect the primal spirit of the land. To him, strength, blood, and struggle are what makes life meaningful. Civilization is a cage. Wilderness is the truth. In terms of power, Volibear is as close as Runeterra gets to an avatar of nature's fury. Storm magic, godlike strength, and near immortality so long as the old beliefs endure. The stronger the belief in Volibear, the stronger he gets. He does not just fight armies. He embodies unstoppable force, a tempest given form, and brings war into the bones of the land itself.